Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
And next speaker, Dr. Manisha Ashari. She will talk about rest endothelium scraping technique in action.
Very good morning to the esteemed panelists there. So I'll be telling about retroendothelial scraping technique by starting with this young pharmacy student who came to me with a 1 month symptoms for pain and redness, and based on the clinical suspicion, as we look over here, for 1 month the patient was prescribed all sort of medications which was more antifungal, and that's what it looked. But we did the scraping, did not find anything, so converted it more to the antibacterial, but continued on the clinical suspicion. 3 days later, status quo, nothing changes. So what we have here, an endothelial plaque with no superficial infiltrate to scrape and is not responding to medications. What do? Sometimes you have to think out of the box. And something, when we say, if it is not coming out straight, you have to bend your finger. And that's what we did. We did a reverse endothelial scraping technique. And if I just go on that, it's basically the technique wherein you make a side port and you just, because this was our first case, we just took out material enough from the endothelium, which was ready, and you can do a diagnostic test on that. Doing the diagnostic test, we realized that it did then grow and show fungal hyphae, and we started the patient on antifungals, and during surgery only, and then we started giving, and we realized the patient is responding to treatment. And on repeated doing intracameral injections of voriconazole, the patient did respond, and subsequent follow-up, the patient did well. So it was a young male who was resistant, who had a resistance medical therapy for more than a month, and we could do direct fungal sampling from that. So complete healing of that ulcer happened, and that's the problem. That's the advantage of this rest, transforming a potential transplant case into a site-saving, minimal invasive success. This was another case when we had done. We started not just doing it for therapy, for a diagnostic purpose, but also for more therapeutic purpose, trying to debulk whatever is there inside the cornea and the AC which is there. So started taking out the entire mark whenever we can. So when we started in this particular case, what happened was that we did that and it grew bacteria, not fungus. Treated the patient on antibacterials and the patient did respond. This was another case wherein we did an endothelial scraping and we realized that it grew fungus, as you can see where it grew on the cultures, which we could not grow when it was just on scraping, because there was nothing on the epithelium. And initially when I used to do for so many years, it was just keratoplasty which was left to us. So this gave us a point where without doing keratoplasty, we can do it in a minimally equipped and minor OT setup and lesser invasive than a punch biopsy. And basic problem here and what you should take care is to prevent seeding and dislodgement. And with this, I would just run off this case, wherein this was a post-op case, post-cataract surgery after 2 months. Again, everything was deep, nothing was growing, and the patient was just not responding. And with this, we had to go in for rest. By that time, we had some experience, and it was fungus which grew here. And we treated the patient on antifungals with intracameral voriconazole, and the patient responded without any surgical intervention. Similar case presented to us, wherein again you see on this area where it's at the temporal incision which is there inside, we went in for rest. And what we realized here when we had to go in for the treatment, that because there was no material available, immediately after that I had some inkling that it may not be fungus. What it grew was nocardia. So it's very similar to what it was before. One was fungus and one was nocardia. Thinking about it without any having any I would say a more diagnostic thing, it became more like what we can do. Till now we've done around 15 cases wherein we've got various things, and it's just on publication where we want to come out. Can I just go to my last slide of acknowledgement, because that's important, that's why I'm here for. So I'll just go for that, and because I want to acknowledge my trainees, my fellows who were there with me, and they were the ones who actually steered me to what I am here. They're my students, my fellows, and they were the right ones who got me, okay, let's name it something and let's write about it, and got me excited. So what I want to say is most of the time it's not that what you are training them or teaching them, you learn a lot from them. And they are the ones sometimes they have much smarter ideas than you may. I thought it was a simple technique which I was doing, and they transformed it into something more innovative. And we got now a written SOP of how we're going to do it. So
Thank you very much for that.
Do you have an OCT of those so that you would see that there's just a retrocorneal membrane kind of thing, and there's not stromal involvement so that you can scrape it easily? Do you
So
do the workup?
initial cases when we were doing, it was more like a diagnostic thing we did. In the last 5 cases when we started doing, we are documenting everything right from the OCT, like the nocardia case. It has everything on the OCT where we are saying that, okay, it was just behind and we did it. Most of the time when we are doing, and what I realized, if it is more there, you're using a reverse Sinskey to remove it. Sometimes you are scratching the endothelium, and what I think of it, okay, what this patient could have gone for a therapeutic keratoplasty, and most of the time I used to do therapeutic keratoplasty. Now I always say, let's first try this and go there.
Nice.
So it scars there, and sometimes you need that scarring.
And one more question about like the first case. Why do you think it's like just endothelium? So how did it goes in there to do the plaque without any stromal involvement? So in the history of the patient, what kind of trauma or something is the etiology of the case?
So he was more of pharmacist. He was saying, I was riding on a bike and something fell on the eye. But when I was looking at it, there was nothing inside which was there. The first patient was just on slit lamp. We didn't OCT because the patient was planned for keratoplasty, referred to me for keratoplasty. But it was just that I thought, let's just do this and not that. What you're saying is right. Whenever I deal with fungal keratitis, I'm quite sure some sort of stromal involvement is there. But stromal, your topicals will also work. But that endothelium, if it is more so, there